Love and glory to my father Aowa. Glorified be Maya Chica, Oye, and to the Aowa, which is the breath of life. And greetings to all the Orionites and all the families of the earth, man, in unison and unity. You know what I'm saying? Um, okay, we're gonna continue working. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we were born to do. So I'm gonna do Luke 14. um, you know, Yaonai, it's Adonai, Yaonai. He heals the man with dropsy. On one occasion, when Ionai was going to the house of a leader of the Pharisees to eat a meal on the Sabbath, they were watching him closely. Just then, in the front of him, there was a man who had dropsy. And Ionai asked the lawyers and the Pharisees, "Who is this law? Is it lawful to cure people on the Sabbath or not?" But they were silent. So Ionai took him and healed him and sent him away. Then he said to them, "If one of you has a child or an ox that has fallen into a well, will you not immediately pull it out on the Sabbath day?" And they could not reply to him. Yeah, man, they can't reply, man, because these Pharisees, these GMSers, and those types, those fake Israelites, you know what I'm saying? They're demons, man. They have no answer to nothing but just spreading poison and bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea who I am, okay? To you and who my father is and where I come from in my lineage, I'm straight from my descendant, man. Saying straight, where's your tree at? Kasakin, you guys, frauds. Let's proceed. Humility and hospitality. Okay, something you could learn, GMS. When he noticed how the guests chose the places of honor, he told them a parable. When you are invited by someone to a wedding banquet, do not sit down at the place of honor in case someone more distinguished than you has been invited by your host, and the host who invited both of you may come and say to you, "Give this person your place," and then in disgrace you will start to take lowest places. But when you are invited, go up down at the lowest place so that when your host comes, he may say to you, "Friend, move up here." Then you will be honored in the presence of all who sit at the table with you. For all who exalt themselves will be humble. Yeah, GMS and your demons that you call apostles, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. He said also to the one who had invited him, "When you give a luncheon or a dinner, do not invite your friends or your brothers or your relatives or rich neighbors, in case they may invite you in return, and you will be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor and the crippled and the lame and the blind, and you will be blessed, because you cannot repay they cannot repay you, for you will be repaid in the resurrection of the righteous." Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's just like these GMS fools, man. They're sitting in a place, man, saying what they don't belong, you know what I'm saying? And they're just inviting themselves, you know what I'm saying? But they're not reaching out to other nations or other people or the lower ranks or nothing, man. Saying that's why, man, the door's gonna be closed on you, man. And that's a promise. A parable of the great dinner. One of the dinner guests, hearing this, said, and another thing too about that other place, man, humility and hospitality, man. You have no idea who you diss when you diss me, man. You know what I'm saying? And when my father comes from Orion, you're gonna find out, man. You know what I'm saying? You're really gonna find out. Frauds, man. You bunch of ravens. Idiots. Brothers, man, stop listening to these niggas, man. Now let's proceed. A parable of the great dinner. One of the dinner guests, hearing this, said to him, "Blessed anyone who will eat bread in the kingdom of Oya." Okay? Then Adonai said to him, "Someone gave a great dinner and invited many. And at the time for dinner, he sent his slaves to say to them who had been invited, 'Come, for everything is ready.' But they alike began to make excuses. Then he said to him, I have brought a place. I have bought a piece of land, and I must go out and see, and please accept my regrets." And they said, "I have bought 5 yokes of, and I am going to try them out, and accept, please, my regrets." And another said, I've just been married, and then there I cannot come." So the slave returned. As they returned and reported this to his master, and the owner of the house became angry and said to his slave, "Go out at this into the streets and the lames and the poor, and bring and the blind and the poor and the lame and the cripple, and bring them." And then he said, "Sir, what you order has what you are ordering has to be done, and there's still room." And then he said, "Master said to the slave, going to the roads and the lanes and compare and people to come in, and so that my house may be filled. For I tell you, none of those who were invited will taste my dinner. Yeah, man, exactly. Like you GMS scumbags, man. You're not gonna come into the kingdom of my Father. I promise you that you're not, man. But the lame, you know what I'm saying, people of all nations, you know, the lesser, the crippled, the blind, the ones with the hope and heart, the good heart, those people, they're coming, man. Guarantee you, man. They're coming. But you're not coming at all, man. I promise you that, man. You have no idea who you disrespected and what you did, man. You don't know nothing, man. You guys don't know nothing, man. I'm saying you're not Orionites, man. You're nothing, man. Okay? I promise you, you're not getting them, man. I guarantee you that, man. Guarantee you that, man. You do not know who you disrespected when you disrespected me, man. Okay? The cost of discipleness. Now, large crowds were traveling with him, and he turned and said to them, whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and even life itself, cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intended to build a tower, does not first sit down and estimate the cost to see whether he has enough complete in it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it will begin to ridicule him, saying, this fellow began to build and has not finished. Or what was not going to be able to finish, or what the king's going to wage war against another king? No, until sits down first and considers he is able with 10,000 opposed to the ones who come against with 20,000. He can then, while the others are still far, he sends a delegate and asks in terms of peace. So therefore, you can become my disciple. If not, give up all your possessions. About the salt, salt is good, but if salt has lost its taste, how can a saltiness be good? It is fit neither for soil nor for manure. To throw it away. Let anyone who hears this to hear it. Yeah, man, like the salt that these losers from GMS spit, man. They're fucking scum, man. They're not the salt of the earth, man. They're the scorn of the earth, man. Look at all the poison that they spit, man. They're not preaching anything of love, man. And I'm gonna give you a parable of the lost sheep, man. Hey, take something to learn, you ravens. Now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming near to him, and the Pharisees and scribes were grumbling, saying, this fellow welcomes sinners, eats with them. So he told them this parable: which one of you, having 100 sheep and losing one of them, does not have the 99 in the wilderness, go after the one that is lost until you find it? When he has found it, he lays on his shoulders and rejoices. And when he comes home, he calls together friends, neighbors, saying to them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep that was lost. Just I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 4,000 and K GMS righteous idiots. They're liars. Yeah, straight out, man. I'm saying, for one person, man, with a contrite heart, man, turns over, man, it's better than a bunch of losers, man. 40,000 people that follow these GMS demons, man. A parable of the lost coin. Or what woman has 10 silver coins? If she loses one of them, does not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? When she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, rejoice with me, for I have found the coin and that I had lost. Just so I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of Allah over one sinner who repents. Yeah, man. There's joy when you see it. My Father takes joy, man, in people coming back, man, saying he wants he wants the gospel of truth to be spit, man. I'm gonna finish with a parable of the prodigal son. Then Al-Nai said, there was a man who had two sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me. So he divided his group between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant country. And there he squandered his property, all dissolving living. When he had spent everything, to severe famine and took place throughout that country, that he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to be one of the citizens of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. He would gladly have filled himself with the pods of the pigs were eating, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired hands have bread enough and to spare, here where I am dying of hunger. I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of your hired hands. So he sent off and went to his father. But while he was still afar, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. Then the son said to him, Father, I have sinned because of the heavens and before you, and am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to him, Slaves, quickly bring out a robe, the best one, and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, and get the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. This son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and he is found. They began to celebrate. Now his older brother was in the field, and when he came and approached the house and heard the music and dancing, he called one of the slaves and asked what was going on. He replied, your brother has come back, and your father has killed a fattened calf because he has gotten him back safe and sound. Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him, but he answered his father, Listen, for all these years I have been working like a slave for you, and have never disobeyed your command. Yet you have never given me even young goat, so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours comes back, who was devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fatter calf for him. Then the father said, Son, you're always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and he has been found. Yeah, you fucking losers from GMS, man. That means that my father, because some of these nations, they have been lost, in idolism, and whatnot. Hey, man, he wants them all back, man. You know what I'm saying? He wants all the branch of Orion, all the branch of the almond tree back, every single one. And you idiots, man, you keep denying people that, man, you're gonna be destroyed, man. You already, that's just moment you're doomed, man. Unless you repent, man, and you start preaching the right thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Unless you start feeding people the right word, man, and try and make amendments, which I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's your choice, man. But I know for a fact that, hey, man, the Most High is not happy with people that don't accept and rejoice over salvation, man. You know what I'm saying?